14 items were seized from UMNO leader Jamal Yunos' home over unpaid costs to Teresa Kok. Meanwhile, the Football Association of Malaysia has announced that all of its executive committee members have resigned. Stay tuned for this and more on KiniNews. Police officers were instructed to effect a forced entry into the home of Sungai Besar Umno Division Chief Jamal Yunos to recover an outstanding judgment cost in a lawsuit filed by DAP lawmaker Teresa Kok. Teresa's lawyer Sankara Nair said Assistant Registrar Kasiratul Jannah Usmani Uthman gave the instruction after the occupants of the house in Ampang failed to respond to calls on the doorbell today. In a statement, he said the writ of seizure was duly executed and completed at 12:36 p.m. He added that a total of 14 items were seized from the premises and the items are currently pending disposal by way of auction. The writ of seizure and sale was executed to recover an outstanding judgment sum of 66,061 ringgit and 85 cents, which represents the unpaid legal costs owed to Teresa. In April 2017, Teresa had filed a defamation suit against Jamal over statements he made during a press conference regarding the Yayasan Warisan Anak Selangor funds. Kok alleged that Jamal had implied she misappropriated state government funds for personal gain and had portrayed her as unethical. The courts had awarded Teresa 300,000 ringgit in damages and ordered Jamal to pay 50,000 ringgit in costs. Jamal later told the media that he was disappointed over the incident as it could have been settled amicably through discussion without them having to break into the house. He also said that the items are still with him and that they had only come to make a list of the items.
66,000 ini insyaAllah ya, bukanlah jumlah yang banyak, tetapi juga bukan jumlah yang sikit memandangkan keadaan saya masih lagi dalam rawatan kerana sakit kanser dan sebagainya. Jadi insyaAllah ya, media melaporkan barang-barang rumah saya disita, tetapi sebenarnya barulah diambil senarai ya, masih ada di rumah lagi, dan insyaAllah kes yang bagi saya tak layak untuk Teresa Kok sebagai wakil rakyat ahli parlimen lah nak tuntut, elok saya buat terbalik pun dan nak tuntut 66,000 sampai nak pecah rumah saya rasa ini bukan tujuan yang murni dan niat baik untuk menyelesaikan perkara ini. Jadi besok saya nak jual 2-3 helai kasut saya, slipper saya, untuk saya tender nak bayar 66,000 duit Teresa Kok. Jadi saya rasa slipper saya boleh selesaikan dengan masalah ini.
Perikatan Nasional Supreme Council has cancelled its meeting scheduled for this Thursday. The meeting was initially convened to deliberate on the resignation of its chairperson Muhyiddin Yassin and to possibly name his successor. Past Deputy President Tuan Ibrahim Tuan Man confirmed the cancellation when contacted by Malaysia Kini. However, he did not provide further details, stating that the session had been changed to a pre-council meeting to be held at Muhyiddin's residence. The reason for the cancellation of the original meeting, which was slated to take place at Gerakan's headquarters in Cheras at 8 p.m, remains unclear. However, according to a supposed copy of the meeting cancellation notice, which has gone viral on social media, Muhyiddin had allegedly sent out a separate invitation to the president of PN component parties for a pre-council meeting at his house. PN Deputy Secretary General Taqiyuddin Hassan confirmed to Malaysia Kini that the notice is authentic. On Friday, Taqiyuddin, who is also past Secretary General, sent out a notice to all PN Supreme Council members, summoning them for an extraordinary meeting to discuss Muhyiddin's resignation. However, Bersatu Information Chief Tun Faisal Ismail Aziz claimed the notice had violated PN's constitution as it did not invite Muhyiddin. From now on, you can also listen to KiniNews on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Scan the QR code on the screen to follow us. Perikatan Nasional's Besut MP Cik Zulkifli Juso has accused government MPs of double standards in their responses to cases involving race, religion and royalty, including those investigated under the Sedition Act. Speaking in the Dewan Rakyat, he said while government lawmakers had condemned the British-era law as draconian, they now appear to endorse its use against activists linked to the opposition.
Double standard pasal 3R. Okay. Merujuk pada titah tuanku berkenaan dengan ancaman perbuatan yang menyentuh 3R. Saya ingin menyentuh tentang perbezaan layanan ketara yang berlaku. Ya? Apabila kesalahan tersebut dibuat oleh seseorang Muslim dah saya tengok, ya, seperti yang berlaku dalam kes DJ Era tempoh hari. Begitu bersungguh tindakan yang diambil, ya, sehingga pengendali radio di kompaun suku juta 250,000. Tidak kurang juga ahli-ahli dewan yang mulia ini mengecam keras kekhilafan DJ tersebut. Dah minta maaf dah pun. Persoalannya, di manakah pembelaan-pembelaan ini ketika aktivis lain seperti kalau kita lihat Cikgu Bat ke apa semua, Papa Gomo ke tiga lah, ya, ditahan di bawah akta yang sama. Adakah akta yang dulu dibantah ahli-ahli parlimen kerajaan sebagai draconian, ya, terhenti menjadi draconian apabila dikenakan ke atas pihak lawan? Itu persoalan.
Bersatu President Muhyiddin Yassin said the recent political turmoil in Perlis was resolved in line with constitutional provisions. He was responding in the Dewan Rakyat today to Arisan Raya, who had interjected and questioned whether political stability better enables Malaysia to face various challenges compared with political uncertainty such as that seen in Perlis. This included matters related to reciprocal agreements with the United States. In response, Muhyiddin said that attempts to raise the Perlis issue were, in his view, baseless and driven by ill intent.
Saya betul tak berapa relevan dengan apa yang sedang pun kita bicarakan.
Relevan. Kestabilan politik relevan.
Isu ini
Kestabilan politik relevan.
Untuk menunjukkan niat dan hasrat yang saya fikir adalah tidak baik. Masalah yang berlaku di Perlis sudah pun diselesaikan dan telah pun dilaksanakan ikut tanggungjawab Duli Yang Maha Mulia Raja Perlis, Raja
Bagus, kalau negeri kecil pun tak mampu diperintah. Kalau negeri kecil pun tak mampu diperintah. Hancur negara kita kalau Perikatan Nasional perintah.
Kalah 8-0 sudahlah.
Hancur negara kita.
Jelutong
satu. Hancur, masih ada. Perlis ada sebuah negeri yang berdaulat, telah pun kita selesaikan dengan secara yang bijaksana. Tan Sri Yang Di-Pertua.
If you like the stories we produce, consider supporting us by subscribing to Malaysia Kini. Click the link in the description below or scan the QR code on your screen to subscribe. Pastor Raymond Kaw's wife, Susanna Liu, has instructed her lawyers to appeal against a recent Kuala Lumpur High Court decision. The ruling granted the government a stay on the payment of 38 million ringgit in damages pending its appeal against an earlier court order issued last year by Judge Su Tiangju. In a statement today, Liu said the judgment was troubling and described the impact of the stay as devastating. She said she has lived for 8 years without her husband, who was the family's sole breadwinner, and without any meaningful financial support. Liu added that being deprived of the sums lawfully awarded to her by the courts only compounded the injustice she has suffered. She stressed that what pained her most was that the stay order made no distinction or exception for one of the most critical components of the earlier judgment. This was the order to recommence investigations in line with the Special Task Force's findings and recommendations, and to report to the Attorney General's chambers every 2 months on the progress of investigations aimed at disclosing her husband's whereabouts. Liu said cases of enforced disappearance require urgency, warning that investigations into her husband's whereabouts must proceed now rather than later. As time passes, she added, memories fade, witnesses relocate or pass away, and the chances of uncovering the truth diminish irreversibly. The Football Association of Malaysia has announced that all members of its executive committee for the 2025-2029 term have tendered their resignations with immediate effect. This came amidst the controversy involving heritage players. In a statement, FAM said that the decision was taken unanimously, with due regard to institutional responsibility and without consideration of personal interests or positions. It added that it is a measured and principled step taken in response to recent developments that have attracted significant public attention and external scrutiny. Among others, the FAM said the resignations are intended to safeguard the reputation and institutional interests of FAM and to mitigate the risk of further adverse consequences that could affect Malaysian football as a whole. It is also to uphold the principles of good governance and accountability, particularly in circumstances where public confidence must be preserved. It added that the resignation will provide the appropriate space for FIFA and the Asian Football Confederation to independently assess, review, and where necessary, address governance, administrative, and procedural matters within FAM. FAM said the outgoing executive committee has affirmed its full cooperation with FIFA, the AFC, and all relevant stakeholders. It also reiterated its commitment to the long-term interests of Malaysian football. And that is all from me today. For more stories, you can go to KiniTv.com. You can also follow us on Instagram, X, YouTube, and Facebook for the latest news updates. I'm Camelia. Thanks for watching.